The way this chapter ends is better than how it started, but we're getting a lot of lore built up. So, get excited. Welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast, about from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, whatever on topic I'm talking about. Today's video is on Tokyo Ghoul. I believe it's chapters 19 to 21. I might be mistaken. I'll double check my notes or I'll put it in the title of the video. But either way, guys, very exciting things are happening because the CCG is trying to crack down on these ghouls, while at the same time Takuya and Kaneki are training themselves because I know like these paranormal investigators are coming after them. So of course we got to get some training in, which we had last left off in the previous video. So when the chapter opens up, Takuya is trying to teach Kaneki to naturally unlock his Kagane without being in a sense of danger or a sense of death, because the way she got him to unlock his Kagane the last time was beating his ass to near death. She attacked him like she was going to kill him. And the moment he felt like he was about to die, his Kagane actually came out, which was Rises, which is like these scythe-like blades. And it seems like they just come out of random parts of his body. It doesn't look like it just comes out of his arms, or like it comes out of his back. That's just how it's portrayed in the manga. I don't know if in the anime it looks different, but it's not like a weapon looks like he holds. It looks like it just comes out of his body. Kind of cool. It's given like them vectors from, not Claymore. I forgot what the enemy is with the invisible arms that come out of your back. It's given that. And I've used vectors in my series as well. But yeah, she's trying to teach him how to do it naturally, like, you know, by willpower, not just being like forced because your body's like, hey, we're about to die, we need to do something. Although Kaneki isn't quite getting it down, she says it's because he's not eating enough human meat and instead relying on those sugar cubes to suppress his human hunger, which is true. The sugar cubes that Mr. Yashimura gave him, it's for like, you know, curbing that hunger. But you still got to eat if you want to be strong. Like, it's just going to lie to your stomach and tell you that you're not hungry. But you're going to still feel weak. It's like in the Vampire Diaries when Stefan drinks, like, the animal blood. It gives him strength, sure, but it's not like that human blood. Which is why Damon's always stronger than Stefan. But when Stefan does drink that human blood, he's stronger than Damon. So, and I even put that on my notes, again, Damon versus Stefan, that argument. They meet up the next day, and she buys some clothes and messes up his hair so they can sneak into the CCG building, which is basically where the paranormal investigators work. So her idea is, okay, like, the mask helped disguise us from being seen by the paranormal investigators when, you know, we're out hunting humans or, like, you know, fighting them. But even more to blend in so they don't recognize us later, we're going to, you know, disguise ourselves, go into the CCG building, find out what they know about Hinami and the ghouls that attacked the paranormal investigators with the bunny mask, see how close they are to finding out about us, and then, you know, we're gonna take off our hair, fake wig, all that, and they'll never know us. They'll never know us from, like, the mask when we attack them, and they'll never know us from, like, going to the CCG building. That's the plan anyway. Also, she takes off his signature eye patch. I figured this could be either training so he's forced to control his ghoul eye, or obviously not to draw suspicion from the hunters because they'd be like, hey, boy, why are you covering up your eye? Like, that's kind of weird. Although a one-eyed ghoul is very rare, it does two things. One, you know, if he's ever seen, you know, in his mask, even just like one eye covered, because that's Kaneki's mask. His mask is like one eye covered, his human eye covered. Whereas, like, before, it was his ghoul eye covered. Either way, that'd be kind of dead giveaway. So she's like, all right, take out that eye patch shit. And then, you know, and then so later, like, whenever he is walking around as human, like, they probably won't recognize him because he'll be wearing an eye patch, where going to the CCG building, he's not wearing an eye patch. Also, it, like, forces him to training because we know Kaneki's ghoul eye goes off when he starts smelling blood when he gets really hungry. So he's like, hey, training for you. We in a dangerous area. Control yourself. Control that eye shit. Also, we finally learned that CCG stands for, I think it was said earlier, I just wasn't paying attention, but it's Commissions of Counter Ghouls Branch. Very weird name. I would have just called them Reapers or something like that. Again, I called them Soul Reapers when I first was reading this. I was like, oh shit, we got Soul Reapers, which again, not really. But I don't know, that Commissions of Ghoul Hunters or whatever, I'm like, I don't know, that seems kind of stupid. That's way too long. Also, to expand even more on this world, ghouls have become commonplace because they have bounties. So now regular humans can hunt for ghouls or like say, hey, I sighted this ghoul. It's like One Piece wanted posters, which is weird because, again, in the beginning of the story, Kaneki was skeptical about ghouls. But if ghouls are so normalized that they have bounties on their head, that they're on TV, that someone is taken seriously being interviewed about, like, hey, ghouls, they can't eat our human food, they have weird tongues, our food tastes like shit to them. If it's so normalized, why was Kaneki skeptical in the beginning of the story? Why does it sound like Pokemon? Like, you know what would be weird in Pokemon? Seeing an actual dog. Not a Houndoom, not a Growlithe, an actual dog. What would be weird in Pokemon is seeing an actual shark. Not a Sharkpedo, not no whale lore, an actual whale. Not seeing, like, a Meowth, but an actual cat. That's how normalized this is. That ghouls exist. Ghouls exist like Pokemon in Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, Kaneki was skeptical. That's like being fucking Gary in Pokemon and be like, I don't believe in Pikachus and Meowths and all that shit. And you see a Pikachu, you're like, whoa, holy shit. Did you see that Pokemon? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Is that a good comparison? I think it's a good comparison. Once we were inside the CCG building, we learned that they have a machine called the RC scan, which basically acts like a metal detector for ghouls. So if a ghoul walks through, it's going to set off an alarm. It's going to be like, hey, this is a ghoul right here. Get their ass. They're still in a prototype phase, but to ensure they don't risk being detected, they decide to scope out the building from the outside, trying to feed some false information to the investigators about a ghoul sighting. They're like, hey, yeah, we heard about you guys getting attacked by like some bunny mask ghoul. Yeah, they're an adult male, really tall, broad shoulders, yada yada. They're trying to lie to these investigators, like, oh yeah. But they don't want to, like, you can go inside the building, but like to get into the main area, it's like this RC scanner. So to get inside the main part of the building, you walk through that and it proves that you're a human or it proves that you're an investigator or whatever, or you're visiting. But they're just like on the outside of the, I guess if you like walk to like a courthouse, like a courthouse, you can walk inside, but then like there's the scanner thing, or any kind of government building, there's a scanner, like airport. You can walk to the airport, but until you get to the TSA, you don't have to walk through a scanner. So you can just walk into the airport if you want to, and leave in and out. That's a better comparison of what the CCG buildings look like and how they're talking to like these like representatives at the CCG, like these regular investigators or like desk people, and be like, hey, yeah, I heard about a ghoul, yada yada, like this, like that, trying to divert the attention from themselves. But ultimately, when I thought Takuya would drop the ball about them being worried about killing ghouls that look like humans, wait, hold on, what did I say? But ultimately, when I thought Takuya would drop the ball about them worried about killing ghouls that look like humans, she gets a response that you would get from any human. Oh, yeah, so she said something about, like, to the representative, she's like, oh, man, I feel so bad for those ghouls. Like, they're out there dying left and right. And a human's like, what? I mean, the CCG person, like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, I'm so glad those ghouls are dying. We got to keep them streets safe. And, of course, that pisses Takuya off because she's a ghoul and she's had to live her whole life in fear. But you are talking to a human, pretending that you're a human inside the CCG building. You cannot get upset when they're talking about being happy that ghouls are dying. Like, we don't care about a cool ghoul. If they look like a child or an old person, we would dispose of them because they're monsters, in our opinion. Like, literally, from our perspective, our main characters, literally from the perspective of our main characters, it seems like they're the bad guys, but you got to make it seem like it's a good thing. Like, it doesn't matter, it's like the ghoul. Because I think what happened is, like, the representative said something like, oh, yeah, there was a little kid ghoul, we got to find him, we got to kill them. And Takuya's like, oh, my God, it's so sad they're a little child. And the woman's like, a child? It don't matter if they're a child, an old man, a woman, a widow, we gonna kill them ghouls. And Takuya's got to play it out because we know how she feels about that. Unfortunately, though, on her way out, because she did a good job of, like, composing herself, because she could have flipped out and had the whole CCG ready to swoop, fight, ready to go. But she maintains her cool. But unfortunately, as she's ready to leave, she runs into Mato, which is the old man that works with Amon, the one who also got in a fight with her previously. And though he can't confirm it's her, he suspects she might be the ghoul that he fought. Like, he just, like, has this, like, sixth sense. That's what I'm thinking, like, not everybody can be a paranormal investigator, or maybe, like, the ones that are, like, that fight ghouls, they, like, have a sixth sense because he can tell, like, something's off about her. In fact, he tries to confirm his suspicion by trying to trick them to go to the RC scan. He's like, hey, hey, why don't you guys come in? Just come through here. And the ghouls know what the RC scan is, but like he doesn't know that they know. So even if they do know, he's like, hey, well, if you're human, you should have no problem with walking through here. Obviously, if they go through there and it works, even if it's a prototype, they're going to be outed. And then you're surrounded. You're in a CCG building in broad daylight, surrounded by paranormal investigators. You are going to lose that fight. But if it fails for some reason, they would definitely be off his radar. So, and then the third thing I had was if they ran, obviously they'd be either a suspect or he would know. So what's it going to be? You got three options. Either go through that RC scanner and hope it doesn't go off and that you'll get through and you'll look like a human because it's a prototype. Two, you go through the RC scanner and it goes off and now you got to fight your way out. Even though you got your disguises, like you got to fight your way out through all them paranormal investigators. Or three, you just make a run for it and they either suspect that you're a ghoul and they're going to attack you, or they'll be like, oh, that was weird. I guess some kids had somewhere to go. What are you going to do? So Mato begins trying to convince Takuya and Kaneki to walk through the RC scan to confirm his suspicions. And he's even got that briefcase which I suspected at this point was a weapon. I do now know it is a weapon. It's called a Kineke. I think we did reveal that last chapter. But yeah, his weapon's inside of there, his Kineke. He grabs Kaneki by the arm and begins immediately pulling him forward. And I wondered if this would be the fourth reason. So there's a fourth possibility. So out of my three suspects, it would be that either they'd have to make a run for it, which would obviously expose them as either suspects to be ghouls, or they can make up some excuse like, hey, we got to go, our mom's outside, and see if they fall for that. Two, they walk through the RC scanner and it works and they get outed and there's about to be an all-out fight right here in the CCG building. Or three, it doesn't work and because it's a prototype and so like it's just faulty. But the fourth thing is because Kaneki is specifically a half-breed, it might not react to him at all. So we get the secret fourth ending or secret fourth option that Kaneki is being dragged through it. And wouldn't you know it, it does not go off. And I was like, that's some clever writing. That's some clever writing if I ever seen it. So fooling Mato, but also a great writing trick. I also love the scenes. How these scenes are drawn with the shocked and odd faces of both, not only Mato, but Takuya and Kaneki. Like, all of them are drawn, like, they're, like, all shocked. In the background, and how it magnifies the scene, like, it just shows, like, Mato's like, was I wrong? Is my sixth sense off? Like, they can't be ghouls. He didn't drag Takuya through, he did grab Kaneki through, but even if he grabbed Kaneki, he would suspect a ghoul would be hanging out with a ghoul. So, he's like, and then, Takuya's about to make an excuse anyway, but like he's like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they are just regular students. And yeah, Takuya quickly uses school as an excuse so they can leave immediately. She's like, hey, we gotta get back to class. We just can't stop by and report about a ghoul, but we gotta go. And so she doesn't get tested as well. They're going for the immediate exit. But as they're exiting, Amon enters and passes by. And from his expression, we can tell, like, he also senses something is off about these two. Specifically Kaneki, because later something happens between those two. But I thought it was pretty cool. Because you can tell they're hyping up Amon and Mato to be like the people that are going to fight. But yeah, they got out of there because they are school students. Well, I was going to say Takuya's posing as a school student, but technically she is enrolled in school, even as a ghoul. But they got out of there just in time before Mato could be like, hey, Takuya, why don't you try it too? Now, meanwhile, the CCG is having a funeral for the investigator that Takuya killed, who was a close friend of Amon. This is trying to build up Amon and because we already know we all would hate ghouls if we existed in this universe because we're human. We don't be killed by ghouls. We don't lose our children. We don't lose our wives, our husbands. We become widowers, become widows, So we can feel for them, or our friends and family dying for them. So Amon is there to humanize us. Even though in this universe, paranormal investigators, the humans are seen as the villains, Amon is there to remind you, like, as a human reader, like, hey, still feel for these guys. Like, there's a war on both sides, and even though we are on Team Ghoul right now because we're cheering on Kaneki and Takuya and all these other ghouls, we still remember, like, both sides. The story plays on both sides of your feelings. This is followed up by Amon and the dead investigator's partners having dinner and talking about a fond memory of their friend. It's a very cute scene to humanize them and give them depth. I mean, there's not, like I said, it's just building up Amon, building up that human side of him and things like that, because again, Amon is our human connection. Motto is as well, but Motto is definitely seen as more crazy than Amon. Amon's kind of like chill. He does hate ghouls. He has a great reason for it, but like Amato is kind of like, every time he's shown like psychopath, basically. Like he gets excited, he gets off on fighting ghouls. Later that evening, Amon even trains himself to the hardest, and we can see that he's giving daddy vibes. Like Amon is sexy as fuck, chiseled body, muscles everywhere. Like he's giving come to bed daddy. I don't like anime characters like that, but the insane muscular body and the way he's drawn, it's crazy. But yeah, we know that he's motivated to kill ghouls because he wants to save ghouls from. He wants to save children from ghouls, wives, husbands. Like I said, humans, and that's what we'd want. Like we are cheering on Amon and Mato in this situation if we lived in that universe. But because we're reading the story of Tokyo Ghoul and we're seeing it from Kaneki and Takuya's perspective, we're cheering on Kaneki and Takuya to survive. Back with Kaneki, speaking of, already knowing the human side of this world, he also sees it from the ghoul's perspective. This is a part of the necessity to survive and eat human meat, but also kill investigators before they're killed. So it adds to confliction. So this is what I was saying before, like, Kaneki is seeing both sides of the world. He understands what the CCG is doing is great for humans because it gets rid of the ghouls, it gets rid of the fear, it gets rid of the killing, it gets rid of their their death tolls. But on the same side, he's now a ghoul. He understands the ghoul's perspectives. They don't kill humans because they're having fun. I mean, some of them kill humans to have fun, but like a majority of them are doing it because that's how they get meat. That's how they survive. They need human bodies to eat and devour so they can stay strong and healthy. So it's a great conflict, and we're seeing it through Kaneki, and that's why Kaneki is like the best protagonist to have, because he started out as human. We saw Kaneki as human. We saw the unfortunate events that happened to Kaneki. He was chosen randomly by Rise because he liked her, and she chose him because, he was like, oh, you're a bookworm, you're a nerd, you're easy prey, and she thought she'd have easy kill. We don't know how Rise died. We do, but like, there's something I had suspected in making the story that she might have been murdered by another ghoul, and that's teased later in the anime. By episode 3, it's teased in the anime, but by chapter 35, it's teased as well that maybe Rise was killed. Why, we don't know yet. Maybe over territory. But that organs got implanted again in Kaneki's body against his will. He didn't even know ghouls existed, and so now he's forced to live between both worlds. The following day, Takuya goes to check on Hinanami, and she has a newspaper in her arms mentioning the investigator who was killed and had a funeral. Hinanami doesn't know that just yet, but basically she asked if she can read the newspaper to learn new words and practice her reading. So Hinanami had the newspaper because she is practicing to like read and learn human language, which we learned a few chapters back whenever Kaneki walked in on her reading a book, and he was like, oh, you're learning how to read, I'll teach you new words and stuff like that. And then Takuya knows what's in that newspaper about the killing, and she's like, hey, don't read that, basically. It was obvious that this would trigger Hinanami, and she would try to go out and avenge her own mother, which would be honorable because she's been starving herself since losing her mother and father. Like, Mato killed her father, obviously, because he has the father's weapon. He also killed her mother right in front of her, and he would have killed her as well. So if Hinanami reads that newspaper that Takuya went out there and killed an investigator, she might be motivated to go kill the investigators herself as well. Plus, like I said, she's been starving. She hasn't been feeding herself, and Aoyuku kicked her out, so they're not delivering her human meat. Takuya could do that, and I'm pretty sure Takuya will, but like I think Miss Yoshimura kicked her out as well because she killed an investigator. She started this war. So Hinanami and Takuya are expected to leave the 20th ward and fend for themselves. Now Takuya does feel guilty and immediately chases after her with Kaneki because Hinanami races off, and she's close behind, or rather far behind, because even though she does like this Wonder Woman leap. Hinami ran off, and then Takuya chases after her, and then like Kaneki chases after her, and they're going after Hinami together. But Takuya easily outpaces him because as a natural ghoul, like she can leap like Wonder Woman onto this building. She's like, I'm going ahead, you're too slow. You need to practice your training, you need to practice your ghoul abilities so you can catch up with me. And she races off, leaving Kaneki behind. As Takuya is running, we get a small glimpse into her backstory. Oh, this is the part about a man that we see who I don't know who this is yet. But it's a man with his back to her, and he says some kind of comment like, I don't give a damn about them. You're on your own, sister. It's like, I don't know, she lost like a brother or something like that, but like whatever he said, it's like something about, I don't give a damn about them. You're on your own, sister. Like, so I don't know if, like, we're teasing something that maybe Takuya lost. Maybe she was killed by a human. Again, that's just speculation. I don't really know who this guy is. But I do like that we're learning more about Takuya bit by bit. And though it's not confirmed yet, I believe his name is Ayato. I might be saying that wrong. Ayato. I had that on my notes as his name. Or just a name, but I know that's not a name we've heard before. But while Takuya is running around, she manages to find Hinami hiding under an elementary school for safety. And I was like, okay, I guess that's like the first place she could think of going. Or maybe school, like, well, because she wants to attend human school and she is seen as a child. I guess elementary school would fit her. And we don't even know exactly her age, but because she's portrayed as a child, I guess like maybe she's like 10 or so, 10, 11 years old. Takuya asks Hinami to come back with her, but Hinami refuses, arguing that it's pointless because the investigator saw her face and she believes that they will. So this is why she ran off. Okay. So she did get the newspaper and she read that Takuya killed that paranormal investigator. And so Hinami is like, why did you do that? Now they're going to think I went after them and tried to avenge my mother. So like now, even though these paranormal investigators are already after me, they already killed my father, they already killed my mother. Now you got them looking for me because you had a mask on and I can't fight. You can fight them, I can't. So now they're gonna come after me. It's like I'm fucked it away. Can't go back to Ateniku because my mother got killed by paranormal investigators, and they also saw my face, and then I can't go. I can't stick around here because you killed one of them, and now they're gonna sweep this whole area. So if I'm gonna be dead, I might as well just be out in the open and just take it. Like, I accept that if I want to see my mother and father again. But Takuya says she went to the CCG under a disguise to see if they learned anything about the ghoul that had attacked them, which we know now she was covering for Hinami's sake. Takuya wasn't covering for herself. She was covering for Hinami because, yeah, that's correct. If they had believed that the ghoul who killed them was a girl or a child's age, and maybe got revenge for the mother being killed and the father being killed, and yeah, they're going to come after Hinami specifically. They don't know anything about Takuya. They never saw Takuya's face, so they're going to assume that Hinami did it, and Hinami's like, well, I'm tired I can't go anywhere else. I'm tired of hiding. Let's just get this over with. But Takuya's like, hey, I went there. They don't have no information about you. They don't even know anything. They don't know what you look like. They never saw your face. They just know they know that your mother had a daughter, or your mother and father had a daughter, but that's all I know. Now, that is all before Takuya swears to protect her, which I found very cute. She's like, hey, don't worry. I'm going to protect you no matter what happens. Like, I got you. Very, very cute scene to have. Unfortunately, what I was not expecting, though, was Mato to show up. And once again, this author draws the humans as a villainous monsters. And it's such a creative twist. The way he draws Mato, I'm going to show it off in this panel for you guys. It looks really good. Like I said, this is my first dark manga. I keep saying it over and over again. But really, how dark this manga is fucking great. It's fucking so cool. But I do like the way he twists the humans to look like bad guys. But again, I think Mato is psychotic. At least when fighting ghouls. It's something he gets way too much enjoyment out of it. As Takuya is walking home after having... As Kaneki is walking home after having been separated from Takuya to search for Hinami, he runs into the second investigator, Amon, who he sees get a call about a ghoul. And obviously he knows that the ghoul that he's getting called about is Takuya or Hinami. So he's like, okay, I gotta make a move. If Amon goes after them, or the fact that like Amon got a call, it means like one of the paranormal investigators found them, which he can probably assume is Mato. Even though he doesn't know Mato's name, he knows that he's seen them together because they were there when Hinami's mother was killed. So he decides to put on his mask for the first time, and he blocks off Amon for his first fight against the paranormal investigator. And I knew this was going to be hype, so I went ahead and ended the chapter here. I'm pretty excited. I will say this, even though I'm a little bit ahead on my chapter 35. I'm pretty excited to talk to you guys about the fight that happens between between Kaneki and Amon, and the fight between Hinami and Takuya versus Mato. I love fight scenes, and because this is in Shonen Jump, it is a battle / manga in a way, but again, more slice of life with battles mixed in. So anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm trying to get better on my notes. Again, these notes were done like about a month ago, so I'm a little rusty. I rely too much on reading my notes and then talking to you guys about it. But I'll try to like do them faster and more updated that way. Like I don't have to rely so heavily on the notes. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Tokyo Ghoul in the comments below. And anyways, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are two. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.